Welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. Today we're going to be making this quick little pocket that can be added to a journal or sent as Happy Mail, and you could use it as a card as Happy Mail, and you could send all these little things in it, and then you could write a little note on the back, or you could add it to a journal and you could just glue the back down onto the page, and it could actually be a tuck spot with all these little pockets. So I'm going to show you how I make all the pieces that go in the pocket except for the paper clip, and I'm going to show you how I make the pocket. And these are very quick and very fun to make, and it would be fun to make a bunch of these up in one afternoon. So I made this little tag here with a butterfly, and then this is just a little plastic bow that I had from Embellishment, and then I've put 2 tags in it, and then I have the little paper clip, and so you have a pocket here, and then you also have a pocket on the side here where it has just like a little file folder I've made and put in it. And you could even add pockets to this. I may add pockets to some, but I thought this was a cute little project and it was so much fun to do. So this is part of my Rubber Buggy design team project, and so I'm going to be using some paper from their shop, and this is absolutely gorgeous paper. It's by the Lemon Craft and it's called Yesterday, and this is the 6x12 pack, and so it has all elements for fussy cutting, and I'm going to go ahead and skip through it because it repeats itself. It says it's 24 double-sided papers, 16 designs, and it kind of just repeats itself. And so I've been cutting on some of those pages, so what I want to do is just show you some pages that hasn't been cut on, and so you get a whole sheet of words in English, and someone's in 3 different fonts, it looks like, no, 4 different fonts, and then the back side of that is another language, and I'm not sure what that is. It kind of looks Polish, but I am not an expert in language, so I have no idea. I can't read any of it. And so then you have a page here with all these fussy cuts. And then on the back side of it, if you can see, you have like a plain pink paper. But I would never use the plain paper from this. You can buy a 12x12 if you were wanting that. I think these are just great for their fussy cuts. But on the backs of them are beautiful paper as well. And look at all the butterflies you get in one page. There's so many fussy cuts in this book, and each page is just full of them. And so I have already pulled a bunch of pages from this that I've been cutting on, and I have some of them laid aside here, and some is in here that I've been cutting on. But here's some that I've been cutting pieces out. And if you want to see another project with this paper pack, I will link it in the upper right-hand corner as well as below in the description, since I did do a project with this a couple of weeks ago, and I just love this paper and I just want to find ways to use it. And so this is the 6x6 of the Yesterday, and it has 24 double-sided papers, so 12 designs. Both of these are 250 GSM, so they're very thick paper. And so I'll give you a few, but I don't even know. I've just took so many out of this, so I don't know if we'll get to see all the different. No, it's going to be mixed up. But there are so many different designs in here, so they're all just gorgeous. So that's just a few of them. So it's 12 different designs, and they are just gorgeous. But I have mixed them all up because I've been using this paper, and so I used some to make. I used some of the fussy cuts and the paper, the 6x6, to make this pocket. And so these pockets can use any 6x6 paper, or you can actually just cut down your 12x12 into 6x6 squares so that you can use it. So you're just going to start out with your 6x6 piece of paper. Now, since this is 250 GSM, and I don't know if you can see that because of the lighting, let me hold that up. It's so gorgeous. I think this is beautiful paper, and it's double-sided. And since this is 250 GSM, we're going to have to score it. Now, I tried it without scoring it, and it doesn't work with this thicker paper. It doesn't look good. So if you were using thinner paper, like scrapbook type paper, I don't know if they still even make that kind. It used to be really thin. That would be fine, or copy paper, or some of your like 32-pound paper and things like that, I think would be fine. But the thicker cardstock like you get in most 12x12 packs, like the Tim Holtz paper and different papers, that's what this is like. It's thick. You're going to need to score so that it does fold nicely. So with the 6x6, we're just going to score. You're going to put the top of your paper to the top of your scoring board, and then we're going to score at 3 inches. Just going to press that down at 3 inches. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our paper so that the bottom is on your left-hand side. And then we're going to score at 1 3/4. So then we're going to take and we're going to cut on that score line. So you can, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, maybe the lighting there, you can see it. So we're just going to cut down the score line at the bottom. And we're only going to cut up to our 1 3/4 line. Just cut right up to that line. So we're going to put this back into our scoreboard now. And we're only going to score this top one. So let's go ahead and just fold this up so we have it out of our way so that there's no mistake in where we're scoring. So now we're just going to take and put this little flap here back up here in our scoring board, and then we're going to score at 1 1/4. You're just going to score through there. I'm going to do it twice because it's thick paper. Now we're ready to fold, and that's all the measuring we're going to have to do now. So we just got this pocket folded down. So then we're just going to fold this in half and press down. You want to press real good on your fold lines. So then, we had it like this. Let's just take a look at this again. So we scored this one, and it only has been scored once. We folded it up, and then we fold our paper in half. Once we have it folded in half, then we're going to flip it back over here. So we have our flap that's folded up. And so now we're going to take this bottom flap, and instead of folding it with the same score line as this pocket, we're just going to, that extra score line we made, we're going to fold on that extra score line. And so that way we have 2 pockets on the front. We're just going to press them really good. So there we have our pockets. We're just going to glue them now. So on the first one, we just want to glue down the edge from the score line down to the top of that flap. You don't want to put a lot of glue or it could ooze out everywhere. So I just want to put a little bit, because I also want to make this pocket as big as possible, because this is a small little project. So if you got too much oozing towards the center, your pocket's not going to be as big. So then we're going to come back, and I'm just going to add glue to, so when I fold it over like this, I still want to make sure that this is going to be a pocket. And so if I glue it shut here, then you're not going to get this whole length of a pocket. So you do just want to glue just a little bit at the top here, or at the bottom of this pocket, or at the top of your pocket here, right in there, so that you can glue this pocket shut. And hopefully that makes sense. I'll show you in just a second. So we do that so that we don't glue down the bottom here. You have more room in your pocket if you do that. So then we just want to add some glue at the top here. And this is where you can change things up. You could leave it like this and have it just as a big tuck spot. You could glue down the side here and then have a big tag going in, or you can just glue across the top here. And that's what I'm going to glue. I'm going to glue mine shut at the top here. So you can make it several different ways. Just press that down. So now I am going to ink. I forgot to ink my pockets, but I can go back and do that. I am going to ink this one. I just think that it looks really good inked. This paper has such a shabby chic look to it. I think it would be gorgeous in a shabby chic journal. So I'm just going to go back there and ink that because I forgot to ink it earlier, but that's okay. I do think it looks inked. I do think it looks good inked because you can actually see the lines of the pocket against the paper since it all kind of blends. Okay, so there we go. No mistakes. We just fix them right. And you could ink up the back real quick as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave that out so I can remember to ink all the other parts. So now let's make the parts to go in it. So first off, with our paper pieces, I want to cut out I'm going to cut out the heart, and we're going to cut it out in the blue. And then this page has 2 more tags on it. I've already cut 2 tags off of it, and I'm going to cut 2 more tags out. So I'm going to cut those 2 tags, and then I'll probably cut one of these butterflies here. I'll look and see which butterfly I'm going to cut, or it could be one on this page. So I'm going to cut out a butterfly, and let's see go from there, and then we'll see what decorations we want to do. So I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, so I've gone ahead and fussy cut most of the pieces out that I want to use, and if I want to use something else, I'll go back and cut a few more out. But this is what I have so far. And so I wanted to show you those. Since I do a lot of fussy cutting off of camera, I wanted you to see what I use to fussy cut. And so this is the scissors that I use to fussy cut, and I will link below to those because they actually have these in the Rubber Buggy shop. And I will link below, I don't know if I told you earlier, but I will link below to everything that I'm using that they have at the Rubber Buggy. And they do have the Distress Oxide, and I'm looking to make sure they haven't sold out of the Ground Espresso. I did get this from them, but last time I looked it was sold out, but they have got a lot of new products back in, so a lot of things are back in stock. So if you've looked and something was sold out, go check again because they're getting a lot of new stock in. And so I went ahead and fussy cut the tags out. I fussy cut out this little frame and the butterfly, the bow, and then this clock. And so what I want to do is I want to use this little bow here. So in my previous one, I used a little wording from the paper pack, and then this is a circle from the pack as well. This is a circle from the fussy cuts and the butterfly, but I decided to do this one a little different. Each one you can do different. That's what's so fun about them, is just decorating them up. So now I'm just going to add this little bow to the front of the bottom pocket. And I thought about making it dimensional, but I think since I don't know where I'm going to put it in a journal, it'd be best to be flat. But you could raise it up with dimensions, especially if this was going to be some sort of Happy Mail. And it could be that way in a journal too. Oops, I almost had it upside down. And I did go ahead and ink all these. So I've gone ahead and inked the bow. And I think that's a beautiful little bow. And they have several different colors in the Fussy Cut pack. So that's just a simple little way to decorate that pocket. So now let's decorate up our little tag here. That's what I'm using for, is little tags. But you could actually just include this in a journal, and then they could use this on a different page. Whoever gets the journal could use it to decorate a page. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue on the center of the butterfly because I want him or her to be able to have the little wings folded up to give it a little dimension. So since I'm using a blue frame, I decided to use a pink butterfly. Last time I had a pink frame, so I used the blue butterfly. I thought it looked good to kind of mix it up. So there we go. And then I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to put a little bit at the top here. And then I'm going to stick my plastic bow into it. This is just a little bow I had in some of my stash. I've just got a few of these left. So I thought they would look cute on here. And anything you had to add a little dimension there. And you could just cut out another little piece of something from the kit and just put it on foam tape if you wanted something else for dimension. So let's set that aside and let it dry. And let's see here. I also have a paper clip that I'm going to add. And these are some that I just made up using some of the little pieces that I have laying around. I just got to decide. I don't think this one's going to go with this one. I think this may be cute, or that actually may be. Let's just see here. Just add it right in here. So just add that. Oops. Kind of got it. So we're just going to add our little paper clip, and then just add a few tags to the pocket here. You could just use one if you wanted to, or two. And this is still drying, but we'll just kind of tuck it in there. And I'm wondering if I want to tuck maybe that little clock there. Or we could try our little rose, since there is so many roses in this kit. Or I say kit, in this paper pack. Okay, oops. There we go. Okay, I like that. Okay. And the clock's getting lost. I'm wondering. There we go. We want to get our butterfly sticking up here. Okay, so now let's make the little folder. So for the folder that goes in it, we're going to just use another piece of 6x6, but we're going to cut it down. And I'm going to use this little one full of roses. So we're going to cut down a piece of paper to 5.5 by 4. And you can take the 5.5 portion and put it to the top of your scoreboard, and we're going to score at 2 3/4. And then we're just going to fold that in half, and that's part of our file folder. You just want to smooth it down, especially if you're using the paper I'm using. It's fairly thick. And then you have this little strip that was left over that was about 2 inches wide. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to make some tabs. You know what? Since it's so thick, I'm going to go ahead and score down the middle though. Since it's 2 inches, I'm going to score at 1 inch. And I'm going to fold it over. And then I'm just going to use my tab punch to make a tab. And if you have this punch, or if you're looking at getting this punch, an easy way is to fold this paper in half like this, and then you're going to put the folded portion at the top of your tab. And I may have it too wide. I may have to trim this down. I never know the exact thickness that I need it to be. So we are going to have to trim it down just a bit. So I'm just going to trim it down some so that it fits in my tab punch. Okay. And I just eyeball it, but I'll let you know how wide that needs to be. That's about 3/4 wide, maybe just a little under it. And then we're going to slide it down in here. And what you want to do is your folded edge needs to be the top of your tab. And you want to leave, I don't know if you can see, you want to leave just a little line at the top there so that you don't cut into your folded portion. That way your tab is all one piece. Now you can just punch these out. Let me see if you can see that 1 minute. I'm trying to see if I can get that on camera. So you see that little line there? It's right at the top there. And so that way when you punch it, then you have all one piece tab. You don't have to do that. For my other one, I didn't have I just used a different scrap of paper, and so it wasn't wide enough. So what I did was sorry for that noise. So what I did was I just punched two out and glued them together. So you can do that as well. And so I'm going to have to flip it the other way though, because I do want to have a different color on the outside. And let's find the top. This has got wording in there so I can see what the top is. And so I'm going to attach it there, but first what I want to do is I want to go through and I just want to just trim those corners off like that. I'm just going across the corners. And you could use your corner punch to do that as well, to round it off, but I'm just going to clip the corners this time. Then we're just going to add glue to our tab. This is a quick little project. Like I said, this is just super quick, but it is a lot of fun to make these. Then I'm just going to attach this at the top here. Make sure we got it straight. Got just a minute to work with it. Now that looks straight. I'm just going to press it down now. And then that's what I was talking about. You can come back in here and you could add some little pockets. And I do want to ink that. I think that makes those little clipped corners look so good once you ink them up. So there we have our little folder done. And it's tiny, but it's a cute little journaling spot, or you could put pockets in there and it could be a place to add ephemera. And then, that's the wrong one, that's our other one. So then we're just going to add it to the pocket here. Got to get it down in there. And there we go. I think that's a very cute little project. It would make a great little Happy Mail, or it could also be added to a journal. And I'm planning on adding mine to a journal. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this project, and I hope that you'll give it a try. And if you do, be sure to tag me on Facebook or on Instagram. I would love to see what you make with it. And I will link below to all the products I used. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.